Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how you can unpivot data. And what I mean by that is basically going from a format like this where you've got sort of a summary layout where you've got months across, years going down, and then values over here into a more tabular format like this. So the benefit obviously is if you've downloaded data and it looks like this is not as easy to put into, if you wanted to actually put it into a real pivot table, or if you wanted to manipulate it, it makes it a lot harder with formulas. If I've got it here, it's a lot easier to do sum if calculations and, creating a pivot table. So I'm going to show you how you can go from this format into that tabular format. And it's really easy to do. All you need to do is put the data into Power Query, because otherwise you'd have to do this manually, maybe copy data over, and it'd be a really painstaking process. But if I just click anywhere on this data set, go into the Data tab, and then under Get and Transform Data, I'm going to hit From Sheet. And I'm okay with the default. My table has headers, hit OK. And now what this is going to do is it's going to launch open Power Query. And the key thing to making this work is under the Transform section, there is an option to unpivot columns. So it's pretty straightforward. Now, the one thing you want to be careful is you probably don't want to unpivot everything, and I'll show you why. So if I were to select everything in this range and hit unpivot columns, this is pretty close to what I want, but it doesn't work because the problem here is I've got the year up above here, and then I've got the months after. So I got 2011, then I got the months 2012, then I got the months. So that's not the format that I'm looking for. It's not going to be terribly helpful. So I'm going to scratch that step out. And the key thing when you're unpivoting is you want to know which columns you need to unpivot. And I always find it's easier to figure out which ones you don't want to unpivot, or select those, let's say. And in this case, I don't want to unpivot this year field, because the way that it's set up right now, it's got the years going down. I want to keep it like that. I don't want the years, going across or in and out of the column like what happened when I unpivoted everything. So I'm going to keep this entire column selected, and I'm going to right click on the header here and unpivot other columns. So if I click this, it's going to unpivot everything else except this column. So I'm going to do that, and now you'll see now I've got the year, I've got the month, and I've got the value. So just like that, it's already done. The only other thing I need to do is go back to the Home tab and hit Close and Load. And now what it's going to do is load this into another sheet, and now I've got my data that's been unpivoted, where I went from this, which is now converted into a table once I put in a Power Query, and spit out this. So it's a really quick and easy process. As long as you have access to Power Query, this is an easy thing to do. As you can see, the main thing is you just want to make sure you've selected the right columns to unpivot, or in this case, I showed you how to select which ones you don't want to unpivot, which is probably the easier option. So that's a wrap on how to unpivot in Excel.